Hi, this is Elena Laster. So, I had a plan, and the plan was to do something special for the Bean family. And I decided to put together a video of Charlie. And Charlie is my patient, whom I've known since 2013. He is a handful. And I thought I could kind of capture some of the things that Charlie has done in life, what he talks about, him going off and running on me. So I'm going to try to start from the beginning. And thanks to my producer, Mr. Nate Patterson, he has really pulled this together, and I think the family's going to love it. So, here's how it started. Mr. Charles Bean. I met Charlie 2013, Christmas Eve. I received a call from a friend of mine who is on our board of directors that happens to be Betty Lies Fights Back. His name is Thomas Kane. Unfortunately, Tom has since passed away. He called me up, it must have been about 5 o'clock, and he says, Elena, I have a friend of mine who needs help, and I was wondering if you could see him and talk to him. He has some tenants who are possibly abusing him. So, of course, I work with the elderlies in the district attorney's office, so I told Thomas, I said, Tom, bring him down Monday and we'll get a restraining order and fill in all the information I need to go before the judge. So Tom says, well, Elena, guess what? I'm in the process of ringing your doorbell. What happens? My doorbell went off. I said, what are you doing? He said, I have Charlie with me. So I went out and had Tom come in the house, and I had Charlie come in, and we were decorating the Christmas tree. Myself, I have 3 girls and a boy, and we were setting up everything to bring the Christmas in right. So Charlie came in, very courteous, very nice, introduced himself. I introduced myself. And I said, Charlie, have a seat and tell me what's going on. Well, so of course, Charlie didn't want to talk too much about it, mostly because he was ashamed. So Tom filled in the pieces. So my other daughter, the oldest daughter, was in the kitchen cooking, just light food, light dinner. And I had asked Charlie, I said, Charlie, are you hungry? So he said, yes. He said, first thing he says, I'm a very picky eater. I said to myself, oh my God, I hope I have food that he would like. This is not a kosher home. I've got to do something that he would approve of. So anyhow, we had some tuna fish and macaroni salad, things that he enjoyed. And in the interim, my second daughter, Sangha, went out to the store and bought 2 gifts. One for Tom and one for Charlie. Came back home, went in the bedroom, wrapped it up and put it under the tree. Now mind you, this was about 6 o'clock. Charlie stayed with us till about 10:30, quarter to 11, and at that time we were going to open gifts. We gave Charlie his gift, a pair of gloves, and do you know, to this day, Charlie wears his gloves every winter, and he is so just thrilled with his gloves. So that's the beginning of the story, how I met Charlie. You're gonna love this video of Charlie because he takes you way back in time, and I'm just so pleased to have been able to put this together for the Charles Bean family. And I have one very, very special dear person that I'm going to interview today, and we're at his house, and his name is Mr. Charles I. Bean, better known to me as Charlie and better known to his family as Uncle Sonny. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks. Sometimes get a little tired, but otherwise I'm feeling pretty good
Oh,
for an old man.
but you're looking good, Charlie.
Huh?
You look good, Charlie.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
I think I need a shave.
Well, I told you I was coming. We got the favorite sweater on.
Yeah, well, is this the one you wanted?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So, Charlie, we're going to talk about your life.
All right, go ahead.
So we have to talk loud. Charlie is somewhat hard of hearing. He has hearing aids, but he'll wear them for 2 days and he takes them off. Okay. So, Charlie, how old are you?
94 now. I'll be 95 in October. October, if I make it.
You'll make
I
it.
make it. You think so?
I know so.
Oh, I gotta. Well, they tell me if I'm a good boy, I might.
So you have an in with the man upstairs, right?
Huh?
I hope you have an in with the man upstairs. I hope you have an in with the man upstairs.
With him upstairs?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Charlie.
Well, I must have done. You know something?
What?
I'm thinking maybe something I did right in my lifetime, but I wish the hell I knew what it was.
I can name several things since I met you.
Huh?
I can name several things since I met you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. You know, times have changed.
Yes.
And today, the kids today are not like the kids that we were. When we grew up, we used to get up in the morning, and this neighborhood was 30% Irish, about 30% Jewish, and 30% Italian. And we all used to gather, and we used to ask each other, what can we do for you today? Today, the kids come up, what are you going to do for me? It's a whole new ball game. I mean it.
Charlie, were you born in the United States?
I was born in Boston at the Salvation Army Hospital. All right, I forgot the name of it.
Okay.
It's no longer in existence. They moved out to Hyde Park or Jamaica Plain. And for the first couple of years, we lived in Everett. My mother and father lived in Everett, but my father was in business up here with an older brother of his that I'm named after.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, that father, the fellow I'm named after, I never met, but I've met people who knew him. They said he was very personable and so forth. Well, my father was working with him in Springfield. My mother didn't like the idea of being left with two children all alone in Boston. We were living almost on the Chelsea line in a section of Chelsea called Prattville.
All right.
And the Revere Beach Parkway ran along between Everett and Chelsea. Chelsea, right there. We didn't live far from the parkway. Before I was 3 years old, I came into Springfield, and we lived down the North End in a number of different locations. My father had room down there, apartment and so forth, rented, so that when my mother brought my older sister Ruth with me, and we lived there. But my mother heard about a big Jewish section up here, and that the X was, inhabited with quite a few Jewish people, and the grocery stores there and so forth were all Jewish merchants, pretty much.
Right.
So she wanted to move up the park, and we moved up and we lived down the other end of the street.
That's Draper Street.
Draper Street. Yeah. And after World War II, in 1948, my father bought this house. And
I think you told me he paid $5,000 for it.
I think he paid something like nine, little
okay.
less than 10,000. And we stayed. He bought it in 48. My sister Ruth, my oldest sister, moved upstairs because that was vacant right away.
Right.
We didn't want to throw the tenants out that was in here because they were his aunt and his family. A lot of his relatives lived down the other end of the street.
Okay.
So we didn't move up here till 1952. I think it was 52 when we moved. He bought it in 48. We moved in here in 52. When he moved out, the tenant that was here, and he bought his own house.
Now, you have 3 sisters, correct?
I had 3 sisters. 2 are gone now, and Selma, the youngest one, is still living.
Okay.
She's 84.
I see.
Oh, well, no, wait a minute. I'm 94. She's 86.
Oh.
6, and she'll be 87 when I'm about 3 weeks after
your birthday.
I'm 95.
Right. So there was Rosalind and there was...
Ruth was the first.
Okay.
And Rosalind was the second, and Selma was the baby.
And you are the oldest.
Huh?
Are you the oldest?
The oldest, Ruth was the oldest.
Oh, she was the oldest, okay.
Oh, Ruth was born in 1920, I believe.
I see.
And I was born in 24.
Oh, okay.
1924. And after my father bought the house and we moved in here, in 62, I think it was, after the people moved out. Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting my dates mixed up.
Well, that's okay. Take your time.
Mixed up a little bit. I went into the Army in 1950. I got a hardship deferment because Big Nose Sam noticed that my father was lugging heavy boxes, and he asked Foster Furcolo, who was our representative, and well, he asked the Italian people,
Yeah.
neighbor, where's Sully's boy?
Yeah.
Oh, and they said he's in the army. And Big Nose said, get a hold of Foster and get him out.
Okay.
And then within a matter of a few days, I guess I was discharged on a hardship.
Right.
I thought I was getting a dishonorable discharge.
Well, you thought you were in trouble when.
Yeah, I says, what did I do wrong?
Uh-huh.
You know, I went in, the captain laughed. Laughed. Well, anyway, I got my hardship to Furman. He says, get your clothes, you're going home. So I got a hardship to Furman from the Army.
Okay.
Army. But then when Korea came along, in 1950, I went back into the Army.
En Kelohenu, en Kadonenu.
I see.
See,
Oh,
it was
okay.
1943 when I was originally drafted.
right.
About a year after I got out of high school.
And you went to technical high school.
I went to Tech. Heck, I went to Washington Street Elementary, Forest Park Junior High,
Right.
Washington Elementary, and later, after I came out of the Army, I went to New York.
You went to New York.
New York. I went to school at New York University School of Accounts and Finance.
And I think you had a minor in economics, right?
I had a major in finance
Okay.
and a double minor
Double minor.
in economics and accounting.
Oh.
Accounting. Yeah. And I worked on Wall Street during the day for 10 years.
That's where you learned about the stocks.
But not enough. But I learned it's not an exact science.
Right.
Science, you know what I mean? You can't take it for granted.
Okay.
A kid by the name of Sidney Sauerhaft.
Oh, okay.
After Jewish boy, we worked for A.G. Becker at that time.
Okay.
And I was doing security analysis for him. And I had a few bucks, and I said, Sidney, what'll I buy?
Right.
He says, buy some Pfizer. I think the stock was selling around 38 at the time. So I didn't have much. I bought 25 shares of Pfizer. But for me, it was a fortune.
Right.
Because the stock, I bought 25 shares at 38, almost
38
$1,000.
cents.
Yeah, around 38. I can't remember the exact amount a share. And the stock dropped off. The market went off. The stock dropped down to 24. I called Sidney and I said, Sidney, what did you do to me? He looked at me. He says, what's the trouble? I says, the stock. I just says, it's about $14 a share. There. Well, 14 times 25 is $350. I says, I'm out $350, which was a fortune.
Right.
So I says, what am I going to do? He says, I'll tell you what you're going to do. Buy some more.
Okay.
When the stock was depressed, I says, are you out of your mind? He says, you asked me what you should do, I'm telling you.
Right.
Telling you. Well, anyway, the Pfizer came back. And of course, you know what I'm holding today.
Yes, I
today.
do. Yes,
Hey,
you do. Charlie is one of a kind. Him and I fight all the time. He has fired me 8 times, and 3 days later, he says, well, Lana, calls me Lana. Only one calls me Lana. Come on back. We'll talk about it. You know, we have to have a happy mind about this.
Purachim,